London, 1888. A city of gaslight and empire, of Darwin and doubt, of rationalism pressing against the last walls of the sacred. In a room in the West End, 3 men, a coroner, a scholar, and a retired army major, are writing a ritual. They have spent months decoding a set of cipher manuscripts. Within the pages, they found the outline of a complete initiatory system, something older than any of them, something that had been waiting to be built. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn opens its first temple that year. What they build will shape Western esotericism for the next century. The cipher manuscripts were the beginning, and possibly a forgery. William Wynne Westcott, a London coroner and committed Freemason, claimed to have obtained 60 pages of encoded text. He decoded them, found within them a name. A Fräulein Sprengel of a Rosicrucian order in Germany wrote to her and received permission to found a temple in London. Whether the manuscripts were genuine, whether Sprengel existed, whether the letters were authentic, these questions haunted the order from the start and remain open today. What is not in question is what Westcott's colleague Samuel Liddell MacGregor Mathers did with them. Mathers was a scholar of unusual range, fluent in Kabbalah, Hermeticism, Enochian magic, Egyptian mythology, and ceremonial ritual. He took the cipher outline and built it into a complete system, writing rituals, designing ceremonies, codifying correspondences. He was not assembling a secret club. He was building a cathedral. The first temple, Isis Urania No. 3, opened in London in 1888. Within 10 years, it would count among its members a Nobel Prize-winning poet, the woman who illustrated the world's most influential tarot deck, and one of the most controversial figures in the history of Western esotericism. The Golden Dawn system was built on the Kabbalistic tree of life. The 10 Sephiroth mapped onto the 10 grades of the order. Each initiation advanced the member one step up the tree, from Malkuth at the base, through Yesod, Hod, Netzach, upward toward Tifereth and beyond. The grade system was not administrative. It was the tree walked in sequence. The tarot, the 22 major arcana mapped onto the 22 paths, became core study material. Every member was required to understand each card in its Kabbalistic position, the Hebrew letter, the path, the astrological attribution. Hermeticism provided the philosophical spine, as above, so below. Every ritual enacted the Hermetic principle, change in the inner world, producing change in the outer, the macrocosm and the microcosm in exact correspondence. Alchemy supplied the language of transformation, the stages of purification, nigredo, albedo, rubedo, mapped onto the psychological work the grades demanded. You were not just learning, you were being changed. And at the heart of the inner order, the Rose Cross. The Rosicrucian current, 3 centuries in the making, made literal, the Rose Cross layman worn at every inner order working. Every tradition we have explored on this channel found its place in this system. None of it was separate. All of it was one. The central initiation of the inner order took place inside the vault of the Adepts. Mathers designed a 7-sided chamber, modeled exactly on the vault of Christian Rosenkreuz from the Fama Fraternitatis. Each wall painted in the colors of the planets and their Sephiroth. The ceiling, the tree of life in gold on crimson. The floor, the Rose Cross. The candidate entered the vault. The ritual enacted a death and a resurrection. The Rosicrucian symbolism, 3 centuries in the making, was no longer a myth about an invisible order. It was an experience undergone in a room built by human hands that changed the person who passed through it. By 1900, the order was fracturing. A power struggle between Mathers, by then in Paris, and the London Temple. Accusations of forged communications. The arrival and expulsion of Aleister Crowley, who joined in 1898 and destabilized everything around him. The order broke into successor groups, then fragments, then private practice. But the work did not disappear. William Butler Yeats, a member since 1890, carried the symbolic vocabulary into his poetry for the rest of his life. Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Colman Smith, both Golden Dawn members, produced the Rider-Waite Tarot in 1909, the deck that defined how the Western world reads the cards to this day. Dion Fortune transmitted the tradition through the 20th century, and Israel Regardie published the complete system in 4 volumes in 1937. Every ritual, every knowledge paper, every ceremony, available to anyone who sought it. The Secret Order became an open book, but by then, it had already done what it set out to do. It had built the house. Everyone who came after worked inside it. The Golden Dawn did not invent what it gathered. The Kabbalah was centuries old. The Tarot, 500 years. The Rosicrucian current, 3 centuries. What the Golden Dawn did was bring them into a single working relationship. A system where every tradition illuminated every other. Where you could not study the tarot without understanding the paths. Could not walk the paths without understanding the grades. Could not understand the grades without the Rosicrucian initiation at their heart. The house still stands. Every practitioner since has worked inside it. Next week, we trace the current back further to the institution whose ritual architecture shaped the Golden Dawn before the first cipher was ever decoded. The builders, the degrees, the lodge. This is The Hidden Thread. Subscribe if you want to follow it.